Africa FM audience everywhere, welcome to this special interview that we are holding today here at the International Summit of Algeria and Africa, first of its kind that's held between the Friends of the Algerian Revolution. I have the pleasure to have here with me today Mr. Leonidas Mushukulwa Ngaiza from Tanzania, an old revolutionary that was a part of the revolutions here in Algeria and then Tanzania as well. He took a training with the Algerian army back in the 62 and before, and we're going to hear more details with him. I have the pleasure to have you here with me, Mr. Leonidas. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So my first question to you, you have been participating in training session with the Algerian army back in the day. Can you talk to us more about these sessions that took place?
In the Algerian army, well, I have a lot to talk about the Algerian army, what it did for Africa and for Algeria is Africa also. Well, the Algerian army made many convincing results by participating in the defending African countries which became independent, but also participating in Algerian activities, in Tanzanian activities, and many other African countries. These activities in which the Algerian army participated are numerous. I cannot mention all of them, but it is enough to say by keeping the peace, which is very important for African development. So when I'm here to attend this meeting, we are talking about the role of Algeria in many development aspects, but the army made a very important aspect of Tanzanian, Algerian, and many other countries which became independent.
You're talking to us about this very, very different, I'm going to say, initiative that Algeria made to help the liberation of several nations in Africa. Can you talk to us more about this initiative, how Algeria did indeed help African nations to achieve liberation?
Well, Algeria did a lot of things. Well, I cannot talk of other liberation movement, but I will talk on the Southern African development aspects of liberation. The development of Mozambique, the development of Namibia, the development of Angola, and the development of Zimbabwe. Here, Algeria participated in all aspects by sending some army officers, by sending the officers who made the strategies for this country's development. Particularly, Mr. Judy is very old now, but his head is still very strong. He was the first ambassador of Algeria to Tanzania, but he worked for the liberation activities which was based in Tanzania, but he was there. That's what made him very important to bring development, to bring independence for this country which I have mentioned.
Can you talk to us more about your memories, your souvenir, a certain memory that held a deep effect till today?
Well, I have many. It's not one. I have many activities which still linger in my head. I am also old, but my head is working. First of all, I remember Mr. Judy, what he did, and now he's still surviving, and I hear he's writing something about the African liberation. That is a very good thing. But to mention the developments which have taken place in many other countries, it is a big thing. I cannot tell you all these things, but the people became independent. Some of them are here. To get independence, you need to be having people, having the leadership, and to be independent.
Indeed, indeed. Well, this day is meant to gather a lot of friends of the Algerian Revolution, and it was held for different reasons. Among these reasons is to bring again the Pan-Africanism, and it's important to push the entire continent more forward. So, what do you say about this day?
Well, it's a big day for me. As I told you, I worked here in Algeria since 1984 up to 2008. It's about 22 years I worked here. I was a diplomat in Tanzania. I worked for the students. I worked for my country. And some other African countries, they came to my place. We talked. And most of them have left. They finished school, but that's what I contributed to the revolution which took place in Africa and what Algeria did to implement this aspect.
Yes, today a lot of people are gathering, so they are sharing their experience and they are sharing insights as well. What do you think about what's been shared today?
Well, if Africa is really serious, what we are doing today is to demonstrate that Africa should be very free. Well, I am really very, very sad to hear that Africa is dominated by the European countries. They have money, but Africa has people with heads, people who can talk, people who can plan their development aspects, and that's why having such a meeting here is very, very important for me.
Of course it is. You have also mentioned that you were a diplomat here in Algeria. If I am not wrong, the first Tanzanian ambassador to Algeria.
Exactly.
So what do you have to say about the Tanzanian-Algerian relationships then and today?
Oh my God. Algeria is a good friend of Tanzania. A good friend of Tanzania, I repeat, because it has been in Tanzania since Mr. Judy was the ambassador up to now. We have, I think, 6 or 7 ambassadors. When I was working here during my 22 years, I was going to Tanzania, discussing with them, and coming here. Finally, we established a very important aspect. Algeria accepted Tanzanian students to study here. Until when I left, 1908, there were about 200 students of Tanzania, and all of them finished their work. They are working now in Tanzania, and many more are working now. Some of them are still studying, and some of them are working here in the Tanzanian embassy. So that is a big achievement.
It is indeed big relationships between the two nations, friendly as well as heartwarming, and of course there is this solidarity between the two nations that shared pain and loss.
Yes.
However, it's not just that, it's more than just loss. It's the solidarity that pushes us forward, the Freaky FM listeners. This has been Mr. Leon Das, who shared with us a lot of insights about his experience, I'm going to say, with the Algerian army, his experience with Algeria, the Tanzanian and Algerian relationships. So stay tuned for more insights about this event. This is Emmanuel, the tuning out.